And as I say, live. Um, Sorry if you get sick of seeing me so many times, but I've had a few conversations with different people. So just want, wow, that was quick. Hi Newman, how you doing? I hope that's the right way to say it. That was really quick. Haven't got my thoughts together again, and it's good to see you. So I've had a few conversations. Just want to, you know, I was going to do a video and then just post it, but I thought, well, why not just? Well, that's not what I do. Why not just come on and show you? It's about where. I'll probably wait to explain it all for people to come in. So, hope you can still see me. I can't see me. I don't know why. How this works. So, I hope you can see this anyway. If you can't see me, this is the important bit. It's. I'll explain it now and then explain it how. It'll make more sense. So, really, Forrest says words don't mean what you think they do, and nothing is as it seems. So basically, you're living in a virtual chase. It doesn't really exist unless you step back and look. So everything you're hearing, everything you're seeing, everything you're reading is not what you think it is. Nothing is as it seems. So that means what you're seeing and hearing, around you isn't what it seems. And words don't mean what you think they do. So what you're reading doesn't mean what you think it does either. So to try and understand it and still stay in that the virtual reality that's been created means you're not going to get the right answer, and you're not really in the thrill of the chase. So this was supposed to be simple. This was supposed to be easy. This was supposed to be fun. Not easy. This was supposed to be fun. So simple and fun. And then people, just went crazy with it. So if you're reading the poem, remember, Forrest looked up all the words, especially the nouns. And if you're reading the poem the way that it's wrote, then there's a very good chance you're not going to get the right answer. So because of things are not what they seem, and words don't mean what you think they do, because of that, Forrest said you need to think of the what ifs. These are just my thoughts. It might not be enough to do what Forrest said, because Forrest said you can't think my thoughts. But logic dictates that if words don't mean what you think they do, and nothing is as it seems, then there must be a way to understand what is and what isn't right, and what is worth knowing and what isn't worth knowing, and all of those things. So you have to think of the what ifs, because what if those words don't mean this? What if what I'm seeing isn't, the real thrill of the chase? What if Forrest is correct in what he's saying? Nothing is what it seems, and words don't mean what they think they do. So there has to be a what if. And if you're not thinking what if, then there's very little chance, in my opinion, you're going to get the right answer. Because Forrest told you to think of the what ifs. So I'll go back to the videos that I did ages ago. As I have gone alone in there, from there, the place that I went in, from that place, it's no place for the meek. Put in there, from there, put in below the home of ground. So Forrest says in his poem, as I've gone alone in there and with my treasures bold, I can keep my secret where? Where can I keep my secret? Or what is my secret? So, what does Forrest mean when he uses the word where? I can keep my secret, but. Now, if you're seeing the word but, I said but is an important word, not in this context, but still important. If you're using the word where and it means but, and obviously when but comes up, it might mean where. I'm not saying it does, I'm just saying it might mean. So, you'd have to look at it both ways. So I can keep my secret, but then, and hint of riches new and old, probably doesn't go. On the other hand, I can keep my secret on the other hand, and hint of riches new and old. I can keep my secret, then again, and hint of riches new and old. I can keep my secret when. I can keep my secret at some point in time. Something's going to happen in the chase. I can keep my secret when, and hint of riches new and old. I can keep my secret despite the fact that, and hint of riches new and old. So if you're looking at these, I can keep my secret only, and hint of riches new and old. I can keep my secret if. I can keep my secret at the same time. I can keep my secret regardless. I can keep my secret except for the fact that. And then this would solidify the fact that he's talking about a where. If it was, I can keep my secret, which is where. Where is my secret? I can keep my secret if, when, providing, anytime. I mean, there's more. You can read them as you wish. But where doesn't mean what you think it does. And all of these could be what Forrest was saying in that poem. And it's hard to deny that when Forrest says you need to think of the what ifs, words don't mean what you think they do, and nothing is as it seems, that you should not do what he did and look up all the words in the poem, especially the nouns. You don't need all the words, but it's risky to ignore any. I can keep my secret with the condition that. So now, this is where it gets interesting. So I can keep my secret place. I can keep my secret location. I can keep my secret destination. So Forrest has to go, and now there's a destination. My secret address, my secret site, my secret spot. I don't know if you can see my holding hand out. I don't know if you can see my secret part, my secret space. The tracks. My secret stage. My stretch, as much as one can stretch. Capo's Corner. My secret posse. My secret latitude and longitude. My secret seat. Well, Forrest said he all thought he deserved a throne. You can see the others. Geography. Some knowledge of that would help. Footing. One foot on the other. X marks the spot. Oh dear, where have I heard that? The belt. Home. Put in below the wear of brown. Put in below the whole of brown. Put in below the X. So, and the reason I say that is because home obviously means whole, belt, X, field, quarter. People went to the 4 quarters. Neck of the woods, Ken. Geographical location. If you knew the geographical location to each clue, where, there's a word that is key. There's a word in the poem that is key. Cheers, Davy. The screen is all black. So, can you hear me though? If you can hear me, that's part of the The. That's part of the. At least you're getting what I'm saying. If you can't hear me though, that is trouble. So the screen is all black, and you're probably all saying it in chat, and I'm not looking at chat. Well, the screen's on, the camera's on. Can you see me now? Now. Can you see me now, brown cow? I don't. That's why I couldn't see it earlier, I suppose. How about now, Davey? Can you see? Can you see me? Can you see me? I need to go to chat to find out if you can see me there, don't I? That would help. Can't see, it's all black. Thank you for the show. Thank you, Steve. Queen. Queen's listening and walking. Hello. We can't see you. Or are you in? I'm in disguise. I'm in a darkened room. No smiling or nothing. Yes, we here. Bill is curious. Well, you. No, not even bothered about Bill, to be fair. Unless you come in on the screen, see, stream, whatever, and say stuff. Hello, Amy. Can you see me now? No vision. Davey's gone blind. Can't you see me now? I can see me. Why can't you see me? Knee. No. Not even now. What the? But I see me. I see my camera, and I see the sharing screen. All right. Stop sharing. What about now? Let him sue. You. I was talking to Davey. Bill is going to sue someone for trying to steal the treasure, which he hasn't got. No, can't sue someone for trying to do something, especially if it's, let's imagine you've got the crown jewels and you're saying, they're trying to steal the crown jewels from me. It's like, you haven't got the crown jewels. Buckingham Palace. So if I was trying to steal them from you, it would be a pointless exercise because you haven't got them. So, no, even if you tried to sue someone, it wouldn't work. Hi, Nikki. You still can't see me. I can see me. Right, you can see me now. Can you still see me when I share the screen? Can you see me? How am I doing that? Is that what I'm doing? No, you probably can't because I can't see me. So does it get silly when I share the screen? Maybe I shouldn't share the screen then. Normally I can see me. Normally I can see me. Haha! Can't thou see me and the screen that I'm sharing? Not there's much more of it anyway. And I can't do that. Dum 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 doo dum doo. How did it work so easy last time and doesn't work so easy this time? Okay, so I'm trying to move this and talk to you. If you can't see me now, then I'll just talk to you about what I can see, and you'll have to believe that it truly is here. Platform, corner, stretch, stage, done this, done it. So the estate, the footprint, the state. I can keep my secret state and hint of riches new and old. Place of business, quarters, four corners, colony, talking about the Declaration of Independence and how you become a colony after 200 years, blah, 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 blah. Real estate, pitch, topography. Forrest says, I don't know how that word can help. I have to look it up. Did he look up topography or did he look up where? So pitch is for a lot of things really, but Busy Dean comes to mind. The chair in the interview 2004, 2004. Coordinates. I can keep my secret coordinates and hints of riches new and old. Geographical area. Well, we've already done that. If you knew the geographical location to each clue. Room, meeting place. Well, beginning where Warm Waters Halt is meet, I suppose. Park. I can keep my secret park. Gardens. I can keep my secret gardens. How does that work, Mr. Greg? I can keep my secret gardens. What's more than one garden? Kingdom, terrace, lot. Just looking at my lot in life. Holding, square. Oh, square. I can keep my secret square. What if that is coordinates? A square on a map, a good map. Elbow room. I told my mother and father I was going out for elbow room, and Donnie was quick to take the hint. I was going out for some wear, not for some air. And Donnie was quick to take the hint. Residence. Shoes. I found your shoes, Forrest. Do you know where they are? Do you know where? Yes, they are where, because shoes is another name for where, or another word. Angle, wing, area of land, abode, flat. Oh, the river flat. Pad. It's not written down anywhere. What if it was drawn? What if it's a picture that he drew and it's not written? It's just drawn. Ever drawing line. Oh, so these are just, I'm just throwing things out. You don't have to believe that they're 100% true, but you have to think what if. And if you're not prepared to think what if, there's not very much chance that you're going to get a correct solution. Ghetto, zoo, Slumdog Millionaire. Remember the scrapbook? Here is a slum. Oh, there's something in the pocket. Remember the pocket, the jacket, the patch. Number. Oh, street. Street, you're aware. You're not actually aware because you're definitely not aware. But you're aware. A W-H-E-R-E. Not A-W-A-R-E because you're not aware. But you are aware because street is a synonym of where. Source. Oh no, not a source. A zip code. DB Cooper. A box number. I can keep my secret zip code. Secret whereabouts. Secret how. I can keep my secret how. How can I keep my secret? And hint of riches new and old. How? By what means? What manner? How on earth? By what method? In what way? In what respect? I'm trying to rush this so I can go back to chat and see what's going on. In whatever place, whereby, by which, in which, through which, wherein. So, basically, hopefully you can see. If you couldn't see, I'm sorry, but sometimes I'm not very good. Someday, maybe he can get anything. I don't want a solution that works like yours, Bills. I want a solution that works like Forrest's. Yours is no good to me. What, you can see Nikki? You can't see me, but you can see Nikki. Davey, what's going on? Can never do a show without. Bill, shh. You make yourself look stupid. I haven't said nothing about anybody. How can I not be doing a show? How can I be doing a show belittling people when I'm not even talking about other people? Peekaboo. Oh, you made me jump, Casper. Can't see when you share. Now is okay. Right. Well, it doesn't matter. I've shared what I shared, even though you haven't seen what, if you didn't see the share, you've heard what I've said, and it's 100% correct. I'm not trying to kid you what these words mean. But even if you don't see it, you have to believe what Forrest says. Words don't mean what you think they do. and nothing is as it seems. So you have to, doesn't matter what you think, in your own mind, it doesn't matter what you think. You have to think, what if? If Forrest is telling you can't trust the words that are being said because they don't mean what you think they do, and what you're seeing and hearing is not what it seems, well then, what if? If that's not real, then what can it be? So what if it's this? And that's, 100% where we are. If you cannot, I don't mean because I suppose it is fake, but I don't mean because it's, a con. I mean, because Forrest is trying to do something and he's trying to do it in such a way that he's telling you what he's doing and it's up to you to figure out what it is. And that is his statement that it's to aid the finder, not the seeker. If it is that you want to understand, then you have to find whatever it is you're supposed to be finding. Street, jumped on his high horse and will say, well, is the emerald ring still under the boardwalk? Yeah, because you find it in the poem. And if you're not finding stuff, you don't know anything. And if you don't have where warm waters halt, you have nothing. And you won't know you have the right warm waters halt until you have the chest in your hand. Statements like that people can't explain, but I'm explaining them to you in a way that you know what Forrest Fenn is saying is 100% correct. If you can understand what this is about. The fact that you don't understand what this is about is you're living in that world that has been created. It's been created for you. The words aren't what they mean, and nothing is as it seems. And you believe it totally, which is no different than walking into a Star Trek holodeck or a Star Wars hologram and believing that what you're seeing is right there in front of you. It's not. It's not. And if you keep believing that, if you're in that holodeck, in that Star Trek holodeck, and you live in that space and believe everything you see, read, and hear, then the information is not correct. So therefore, whatever decision you make and whatever conclusion you come to is incorrect. Because the information you're using is not what you think it is. So you have to step back from that holodeck, step out, and try and work out what is worth knowing and what is not worth knowing. Now, if where doesn't mean where, what could where mean? If there doesn't mean there, what does there mean? But if they do mean it, then Forrest is telling you, as I have gone alone in there, from there, where I went in, it's no place for the meek. That's not where I went in, put in below the home of ground. From there, where I went in, it's no place for the meek. So at that point, it's no place for the meek. Or moving forward is no place for the meek. It doesn't say, walk half a mile down the road. The end is ever drawing nigh. It doesn't say walk another half a mile. There'll be no paddle up your creek. Doesn't mean find a creek. It's telling you about something. Now, the words that don't mean what you think they do are hiding what it is you need to know. You're using them to find something. Well, you're not going to find something looking in the wrong place, which is basically what Forrest is saying. You won't find something looking in the wrong place. And if I told you the home of ground, you go right to it, what is your clue to? Begin it where warm waters halt. First clue, Forrest gave us it. Begin it where warm waters halt is the first clue. And take it in the canyon down. So begin it, what is it? Take it in the canyon down, not far, but too far to walk. That doesn't mean you've gone anywhere. Put in below the home of brown. So begin it where warm waters halt. Put in below the home of brown. Is that your second clue? Solve the first two clues, walk right by the chest. Little girl from India can't get closer. That's why I'm doing this. Because somebody made a comment. And when I say, so I feel awkward when I say these things because I don't know, talking to somebody earlier, I don't know if they want me to say who they are that I'm talking to, or that has left a comment or whatever. So I don't use their name. I don't mind, giving a shout to people and saying that I spoke to you, if I know that you don't mind me saying that I spoke to you, or that you made a comment, or that we've interacted. But the little girl from India can't get closer because she's already there, and that is compounded and proved because they sold the first two clues and walked right by the chest. So if the little girl from India is standing where the chest is because she can't get any closer, then those people that sold the first two clues walk right by her, which means the chest is there that you walk right by. Has to be, because Forrest said it was. If I told you the home of brown, you go right straight to it. The little girl from India can't get closer than the first two clues. Well, if the home of brown is clue 2, and everybody went past it, which is what Forrest is saying, if you know the home of brown, why are you worried about the blaze? Which is one of your last clues. Why are you worried about the last clue? And Forrest said, which is the most important clue? The last clue, because that's when you're holding the chest. So which is the last clue? The first clue? Second clue, third clue, fourth clue, fifth clue, sixth clue? Which is the last clue? When you're able to hold the chest. Or at least know where the chest could be. So Forrest, if you have the home of brown, why are you worried about warm water's halt? Because warm water's halt is the first clue. And if you don't have that, you have nothing. So what is Forrest telling you with all these words? That don't mean what you think they do. And yet these words do mean exactly what he's saying. Exactly, precisely what he's saying. So the first two clues, you're halfway there, metaphorically speaking. 2 clues, 9 clues. There is no way you can be halfway there, metaphorically speaking. There's just no way. Solve the first 2 clues, it's academic. No, you've got 9 clues. If that's how you're thinking. So living in that virtual world of the chase, you are not going to find a correct answer because you are not on the same. So I can say you're not on the same page. No, you're not even on the same page. In order to solve this, it's probably the best analogy I can come up with, to be fair. In order to solve this, you don't just have to be on the same page. You have to be on the same word on that page. Now, there's a word in the poem that is key. But you need all of them. One of them won't take you there. Now, I don't see anybody who say that they've got a solve explaining any of that or even talking about any of it because they've never used it. They've never used all of those clues. I don't think they're hints. I think they're outright clues. Solve the first 2 clues, you're halfway there, metaphorically speaking. Little girl from India can't get closer than the first 2 clues. I think they're first 2. Little girl from India can't get closer than the first 2 clues, which means there's a clue about the clue. Solve the first 2 clues, walk right by the chest. I don't think that's a hint. I think it's a clue. If I told you the home of brown, you go right straight to it. It's a clue. It's not a hint. It's like, there you go. Have that. And the same with, foot pressures, blah, 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 ciphers. It's a big clue that I can give you the answer and you won't take any notice. I can tell you what you need to do and you won't take any notice. I can tell you what not to do and you won't take any notice. So Forrest didn't base the chase on it. Forrest was aware that people would think in a certain way and was proven right again and again in everything that was said. Everything was true and factual in what Forrest Fenn was saying if you listen to what Forrest Fenn was saying. And everything was contradictory and false if you didn't. Now, Forrest, however he did it, I don't know, must have known that no one's going to listen to him in the way that he managed to do this. I'll say, hi, Tim, how's it going? It's all a dream. I have a dream. I'm not even sure you. Hi, Alan. Yeah, it probably doesn't, to be fair. Hi, Kiwi. Luli, how you doing? Rick Novak. Well, it's good to see you, sir, or read you, sir, or whatever. Haven't seen any of the videos lately. I haven't looked. I haven't seen any videos, to be fair. A few videos, but not. But yeah, I love watching those. Clean air. Every day is a step. Every day is a step closer because we're following footprints, and each footprint is a moment of the last flight. It's impossible. It's impossible. Really, really, really impossible to have a memory if it hasn't happened. It's impossible. You're not going to have a memory of something that you know nothing about. Hey, yes, let's make hay until while the sun shines. It's good to have you. First time. Thank you. So this is about understanding that we're not as smart as Forrest, and Forrest managed to do something that we couldn't keep up with. And he said, you know, it shouldn't take over anybody's life. Blah blah blah. It's already consumed someone. I would deduce that he's talking about himself. You know, to do this away from his family and that, to try and keep his secret. But he managed to still do all of it. The thing is, we don't recognise the brilliance to just manage to keep this secret. You know, there's not many people in the world, I don't know anybody in the world that can keep a secret for that long without telling somebody, and without that somebody telling somebody, and without that somebody telling somebody, until the person who has the secret gets told it. And we're not supposed to know because I told nobody not to tell. So, you know, 15 years and probably before the 15 years, the secret's been kept. Now, whether that's, you know, NDAs or the threat of shooting them, because he did threaten, you know, Lorraine Mills, said if I told you I'd have to kill you and the other supporter, or was it just the other supporter? And I think it was both of them. Supporter, reporter, the young reporter. He says there is a way to know. So he's like, oh, how's that? And then he said, well, I have to kill you. Forrest is a contradiction. Yes, he did. Absolutely. I love that, Alan. That's brilliant. Yes. The reason you can have a contradiction is because most synonyms are contradictory. Up is down, north is south, excuse me, north is south. You know, so he can say the same word as a synonym and it'd be a contradiction. Because he told you everything. Absolutely told. We use some mountain man logic. Up was north or whatever. Up was south, down was south, whatever it was. However he said it, I can't remember it. West is out or in or whatever. But he was telling you, here's your contradiction, right here, right now. You can't believe anything that I'm saying, and you need to use some mountain man logic to understand it. And he was telling you how to understand it, but nobody understood it. Nobody wanted to understand it because it didn't say, look, here's your chest. It just said some crazy stuff that was contradictory, that was, a little bit out there. But if where means coordinates, then and you need a good map, then wouldn't it be a good idea to have the coordinates on a good map? So I can keep my secret coordinates and hint of Richard's new and old. So you have some coordinates and you have a map. And then you use those coordinates on that map to find out where it is that Forrest Fenn is talking about. I'm not saying that's what was done. I'm saying, what if? What if that was done? What if Forrest did that and used the word where? I looked up all the words in the poem. Why would you look up a word like where, or there, or far, or but, or not, or chest, or why is it I must go? Any of those words. Why would you look up any of those words, especially the nouns? Why would you look them up? It's not anti-disestablishmentarianism. You're not looking up that word. It's not supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. It's not a word you need to look up and understand what the meaning is. None of them are. Maybe halt. Maybe halt. And maybe tarry. Two words I looked up in the dictionary. Halt, because I wasn't sure what halt meant. And tarry, because I wasn't sure what tarry meant in regards to the poem. And I was limited on the words I could use. So I used halt. What? Walk? Walk and balk. And you use the word halt? Come on, Forrest. There's a reason you used the word halt, and it wasn't because you were limited on the words that you could use, in the sense halt means something different than balk. There's a reason why the H was used and the T was used as opposed to a B and a K. Come on, there's no way. There has to be a reason why that is balk, not balk. Why that is halt and not balk. Balk and walk. So Forrest built the poem, felt like an architect, crafted the poem. People think it's a simple poem, but I crafted that poem. And he changed two letters, and made the poem a bit weird. H and T instead of B and K. And the poem was a bit weird because of it. But he built the poem. He didn't just stick words in there. He built it. He crafted it. There's a reason why he crafted it. There's a reason why those two letters are there. There's a reason why Forrest does everything and says everything that he does. And if you're not wondering why he put the word halt in, then there's something wrong. That poem should just read, begin it where warm waters balk, and take it in the canyon down. Not far, but too far to walk. Put in below the home of Brown. And it doesn't. Now, if you're not scratching your head and going, hang on a minute. No way. No way. For two letters, no way. No way. So if words don't mean what you think they do, then what does halt mean? Why halt, not balk? And why, if you do not have begin it where warm waters halt, you have nothing. Zero, zilch. I was trying to explain to somebody that everybody has a warm waters halt, and Forrest told us everybody would have one, because he said there are many places, just paraphrasing, there are many places where warm waters halt, and most of them are north of Santa Fe. What does that tell you? The answers I already know. He knows everybody's going to have all the warm waters halt, but he also knows you ain't going to find it. You're not going to find it. Nobody's going to stumble on that chest. No one. 350,000 people. How many warm waters halts will there be? 350,000 warm waters halts? I don't think so. Out of those 350,000 warm waters halt, how many canyons are going to be there? 350,000? I don't think so. So there's going to be so many warm waters halt, which Forrest said, and there's going to be so many canyons. So most of the solves that people aren't going to stumble on have been done by everybody. If there was a solve that could have been done in any of those states, it was done by 350,000 people. There probably wasn't a solve where there was a warm waters hole and a canyon down that didn't have at least 2 people go to it. And Forrest says, out of all those people, the whole world, no one's going to stumble on my chest. So if your solve is in a place that anybody can think of, no. If it's in a place that anybody can go to, no. No, because you're going to stumble on it. And if you don't have the solve before you leave the house, no. I'm not saying your solve is incorrect. I'm not Forrest Fenn. But I'm saying logic dictates if no one, and this is a blanket statement for everybody in the whole world, anybody, the cat and the dog brought with them, nobody's going to stumble on this chest. But no one. Blanket statement. You won't know you have the right way of warm waters hole unless you have the chest in your hand. Blanket statement for everybody. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what solve you have. Forrest is saying, unless you have that warm waters hole, you won't know you have it unless you have the chest in your hand. So you have to find the chest before you know you've got the right warm waters hole. What? So you really need warm waters hole. And once you have warm waters hole, by the time you finish the solve, you should have the chest. And you should know exactly where it is because you can go right straight to it. Never leaving the house, ever, until you can go right straight to it. Because if you don't go right straight to it, you're going to stumble on the chest because you don't know where it is. Like Jack. You're going to stumble on it. If you don't know where it is, and I mean know where it is, I don't mean, football-sized area I'm going to search here. Know where it is, leave your house, and go to that place and get the chest, if that's what you've got in mind to do. So all of these statements that Forrest makes are saying, you're not going to find my chest. You're not going to find it. The only way you're going to find it is solve my poem and go right straight to it. If you can't go right straight to it, you haven't solved my poem. And if you don't know that if you've got the right way of warm water salt, you're going to have the chest in your hands, you haven't solved the poem. And that's how I see it. Uh-oh, guide word dictionary. Hey, Jason, how you doing? Uh-oh. Why are you retracting messages, Rick? I'm getting a bit concerned now. Are you saying too much or too little? Hi, NFJ. Dizzy Dean walked 5 times between 1930 and 1950. Okay, I didn't have you down as a specialised knowledge person. I've had this conversation with other people. They come in and they give me all this specialised knowledge, and I go, well, I wouldn't know that in a million years. And when they come in and do that, I say, well, you're just like Dave, man from the East. You're telling me the number of a comic that has words in it that relate to the thrill of the chase. And everybody's going to know that. They're going to know this comic had these words in that relate to the thrill of the chase. Anything that you find outside of the poem is irrelevant. It will not, I guarantee you, it will not have the answer. Not that you can prove it. Remember, I've said it before, these people who sent Forrest a photo of the place didn't know the importance of the place and therefore couldn't solve the poem. So any information you find outside of the poem, it's no good to you. And it's not going to give you a correct answer. It's impossible. It's impossible to give you a correct answer because the answer is not outside of the poem. And Forrest made sure of that. I looked up all the words in that poem. You don't need all of them, but it's risky to ignore any of them. There's a reason why Forrest looked up all the words in the poem. To not tell you what he's done, where it is, I had the conversation with Street the other day. I do get wound up. It's not anger, it's total frustration. Went on his show, all he can talk about is, the emerald ring on the boardwalk. And that's where it was. That's where you're told it was. If you can find it there, doesn't matter whether it's there or not. If you can find it there, you're reading the poem. If you can't find it there, you're not reading the poem. So it doesn't matter whether it's there or not. If somebody says, "Where is the emerald ring?" and you can read the poem and you can tell them where the emerald ring is, they know you're reading the poem. I've totally lost my thread on that now. But you have to understand. Oh, yeah. So we go on his show. I'm not getting at him, I'm just saying. We go on his show and we tell him that Forrest Fenn wrote in his poem that me, him, and Davy B should do a show. Forrest doesn't know me, doesn't know Davy B, doesn't know Street. But in the poem, it has Street's email. Now, Forrest wrote this before 2010. I don't know how long Street had the email. But Forrest wrote this before 2010, put his email in there, and told me that we should go on the show and talk about the story that nobody knew about. Nobody knew about the story. Forrest didn't talk about the story until later. So this historical moment for Street, me and Davy B, this historical moment went straight over his head. And all he can talk about is rubbish. But the chase had information that this thrill of the chase had a story that needed to be told. And it was told on his show first, before Forrest said anything about the story. As Forrest said, Capo asked, "What's the one most important thing that all searchers are missing?" Forrest replied, "It's important to the story, but I'm leaving that for the finder." After we've been on Street Show telling him that we need to tell people about the story in the thrill of the chase. And even when Forrest says it, nobody looks at it and goes, "Hang on a minute, wasn't that on Street Show? Didn't they say something about a story on Street Show? That there was a story to the thrill of the chase? That you had to understand that?" And all he's trying to do is make me look stupid. I don't mind him making me look stupid, but he can't see the bigger picture. Forrest wrote his email in the poem. Me, I didn't know Street from nobody, and I hardly knew Davy B. But to have that email in the poem, get in contact with Street, and talk about the story and the map and everything else, and all he can talk about is whatever he talks about. And I'm thinking, what is wrong with you? We talked about your email. We talked about the story that was in the thrill of the chase. We talked about a tattoo, and I made a joke about it being on his backside because tattoos at the top and tattoos at the bottom, and the one at the top is at the home of the ground. So I said it must be on your backside because tattoos here at the home of the ground. And he confirms that the poem is correct by telling me exactly where it is, which is what the poem said. And I'm thinking, man, has this just gone over your head? Everything in the poem has been correct, 100%. Everything has been correct. Proved by Forrest by saying it's important to the story, but I'm leaving that for the finder. His email was correct. He said, "Well, my email's on my show." It was wrote in 2010. Even if it is on his show. Did Forrest watch his show in 2010? Forrest wrote it before 2010. And I'm thinking, what sort of answer is that? Your email's in the poem written by Forrest Fenn. Now, either he gave you the email because it's written in the poem, or he knew your email before you did, and he knew you had a tattoo. And I have to that's why it frustrates me. I have to question whether they're real searchers or just, part of this. It's like you've had an historic moment on your show that proves that Forrest Fenn, or didn't, depending on, which is the case, proves that Forrest Fenn wrote your email that he didn't know you, he definitely doesn't know me, doesn't know Davy B. And Forrest wrote in there that we should get in touch with him with his email, go on his show, talk about his tattoo, and talk about the story that the Thrill of the Chase is about. How can you not be impressed by that? I don't know. I absolutely don't know. And then tried to defend it by saying, well, I knew Davy long before you. Forrest knew us all long before we knew each other. He wrote about it in the poem. It doesn't matter whether you knew Davy or not before me. What matters is he wrote your email, told us to get in touch with you and talk about a story. That's what matters. And that's how good the poem is. Now, coincidence or not, I don't know how it works. I really don't know how it works. But that's what happened. Now, I know it seems to be ranting, but if I can talk about a story that nobody knows about in the thrill of the chase to somebody I didn't even know, I didn't know Street from Adam. I don't mean Adam Foddy, but I didn't know him from anybody. But I did something that I was told to do in the poem, as I have all along. When the poem says tell people, I tell people, which is the video stream I did the other day. Something that I should have looked up at the very beginning of the chase. My chase, not your chase. At the very beginning. When something doesn't make sense, when there's something highlighted, I go, that's in the poem. So I'll find it in the poem. Now, one of the things that's bugged me through the chase is Douglas Preston saying, I saw a first draft of the poem. Like, no, you didn't. That's impossible, Douglas. You can't have seen the first draft of a 15-year poem. And it bugged me. And I've said, on many streams, no, you didn't. You couldn't have done. Because, like, 15 years. Then Douglas says, that's too easy, Forrest. What? That's too easy. Take 1,000 years before they solve it. I don't know how long Douglas was there. I don't know how long he was there. But if he's reading this poem and says to Forrest, that's too easy, Forrest's reaction shouldn't be, they won't solve it in 1,000 years. It should have been, what? What, have you solved it? Do you know where it is? Because if you're going to tell Forrest that it's too easy, you know the answer. Well, that's way too easy, that is. So you know the answer. You can't tell somebody it's too easy and not know the answer. So he already knows the answer to the first draft of the poem that Forrest would have went, it's taken me 15 years to do this. And start again another 15 years. So my first reaction to that should have been, without doubt, should have been, oh, it's just in the poem. I'll go and find it in the poem. And I didn't, and I don't know why. And then we did it the other day, and it says I wouldn't tell him until the end of the chase. Mario, tell all involved in the real ending. Forrest, something like that. Mario, tell all involved in the real ending. Forrest. Which means I couldn't tell you 4 years ago because that wasn't the real ending. And I had to tell you now. And I'm not doing this for effect. I did not look until now. And I should have done. And that freaks me out. It's like, how could I not have looked in the poem when I know myself I didn't believe what I was being told? And when I don't believe what I'm being told, I look in the poem to find it in the poem. And I didn't. And then when I read it, it says, I'll tell you all the real ending. Still involved in the real ending. Still involved in the real ending. Even if I'd known years ago what it said, I wouldn't have told you till now. But I'm telling you the truth. I didn't do it till now. I didn't do it till now. I did it the other day. And I'm thinking, how could he know? How could Forrest know that I would not look it up until now? When the real ending is supposed to take place. And not before, with the fake ending. And I swear I wouldn't have told you anyway. Because it says, don't, tell at the real ending. But I didn't look anyway. And it's something that I should have done. I should have looked in there because I didn't believe what was being said. There is no way you see the first draft of a 15-year poem. It doesn't happen. And I've said it on my videos before. That does not happen. But then to stand there and say, him and Forrest, to say it was too easy, well, that means you know what the answer is. If you know it's too easy, you know what the answer is. So you know where it is. You must do. And that's like, oh, I can't believe you said that. You know where it is. And then, obviously Douglas said he doesn't know where it is, etc., etc. And Forrest says it'll take 1,000 years before they solve it, even though it was the first draft of a 15-year poem that he would have had to do a second draft of. And I'm thinking, no. So what I'm trying to say is, it's virtual. The reason why things don't make sense is because they're not real. Nothing is as it seems. And that's why I should have looked years ago. And I don't know why I didn't. Absolutely don't know why I didn't. I'm missing stuff. I just Googled it. I hate the purpose of the first and last verse. It sounds like legalese to me after all. The whole point of the poem is to hide what is being done and tell you what is being done. So the only way you're going to know what's being done is if you listen to what Forrest says and then act on what he's saying, as stupid as it sounds. Now the whole point. Hi Glenn, how you doing? What is it? Adults have a tattoo. 32% of American. Yeah, but he even said where he had the tattoo. I made a joke of it being on his ass, but it wasn't. Forrest said he did not know the solver. That indicates it was not in the poem. No, that's what I'm saying. That doesn't indicate it's not in the poem. What constitutes knowing somebody? What constitutes knowing? I know Alan Kay. I have no idea who he is, what he is, but I know he's here now. I know you, Zozo. Who are you? I don't know you. See how that works? I don't know you. I know of you, but you could be AI for, excuse me, you could be AI for all I know. I don't know you. If somebody says, do you know Zozo Rocks? I'll be like, well, I've heard of him. He's in my chat. But I don't know you. I honestly don't know you. I think you're a great person from, the chats and that we have. I don't know you. And you may not know me. I am really me, Mario, and this is what you see, but you don't know me. So what constitutes knowing someone? If you know their name, if you spoke to them face to face, if you spoke to them on the phone, if you spoke to them through email, if you had a week knowing them, if you had a month knowing them, what constitutes knowing someone? So, I'm a bit wassailing about this. I didn't know the finder or whatever the statement is, because what constitutes knowing someone? Like I say, I know Alan Kay, and I think, he's a great person. I enjoy listening to him, but I don't know him. I know the person I see on the screen, and I think I know him. I didn't know Forrest Fenn. I thought he was my friend. I didn't really know him. I wasn't even sure if Forrest Fenn was Forrest Fenn. Lorraine Mills says, who's the real Forrest Fenn? He says, well, I hope nobody ever finds out. So for me to say I know Forrest Fenn, I'd be a liar. Well, no, I wouldn't. I know of Forrest Fenn. I know something about Forrest Fenn. But I don't know Forrest Fenn. And I don't think anybody else knows Forrest Fenn. Not to the extent that they can say they know him. So, where do you draw the line at knowing someone? Hi, Redneck. How's it going? JGJ. Ah, Jeep Girl. I missed that. Hi. How are you? Want to get matching Fenn frog tats? What? Oh, wait back. I missed the whole bit there. Ah, there you go. David B saying, once it's found out of my hands, exactly. Mario's live again, howdy. Yes. Live because, people have been talking and I'm trying to. Hi, Sophia. I better read this. To be live stream. Yeah, so talk to people. Let me read this first before I say that. What are temperatures and tats? No tats. No, I don't know anybody's. I've known Davey. Dave, I've known you 4 years, 5 years. I've known you 5 years, never met you. I swear down, you're probably one of the best people that I've met. But I don't know you. I might go over there. You might be, Manson, for all I know. I know the bit that I know about you, and I know Davy B, and even that, Davy B. So, yeah, good, nice day. No, no arc. It stopped raining. We had some sun. It's all good. Oh, and I was going to say something. Don't know anybody. The reason why. So, had some comments, talked to some people, and it's like they're not listening to what Forrest is saying. So I did the word where, and if words don't mean what you think they do, basically Forrest said, "What if?" That's what this boils down to, and nobody seems to understand that. If nothing is as it seems, then you have to think, "What if?" Well, then what if it's this? If it's not this, what if it's this? You have to think, "What if?" So you have to think of the what ifs. Then you have to think of the big picture, but you have to think of the what if, because words don't mean what you think they do. So now if words don't mean what you think they do, what if where doesn't mean where? What if there doesn't mean there? What if, warm is comfortable? What if tenacity is passion? I was never short of tenacity. That's why I ended up with Peggy. What if it shouldn't be tenacity? What if it's passion? I was never short of passion. And therefore, Peggy was my soulmate or whatever. Forrest is telling you it's synonyms. Right, he spelt right, wrong, which still, right and right. The tail. He did things on purpose to show this is what I did. This is what I did. This is what you need to do. Now, the person who did the chase, the person we know as Major Forrest Burke Fenn, says to you, all of us, every single one of us, I looked up all the words in that poem, especially the nouns. I felt like an architect. I built that poem. People think it's a simple poem, but I crafted that poem. That is not a poem that's just wrote with words. He built it, probably letter by letter, foot by foot, square by square. He built the poem. He didn't just write some random words. He looked them up, specifically looked up them simple words. There are no awkward words in that poem. But Forrest looked up all the words. And people in the chase believe that they don't have to. What? No. What? You think you don't have to do what Forrest Fenn did to solve this? That's crazy. Forrest Fenn looked up all the words, especially the nouns, and you think you don't have to. Absolutely crazy. And I say to Davy B, he probably thinks I'm stupid. I can't get my head around that. The man who wrote the poem says he looked up all the words, especially the nouns, then says, I built that poem. Felt like an architect. I crafted it. And you don't think you have to think like that? One foot on the other, continuous, contiguous, chronological, please touch, teachers with ropes, ball of string, squares, knots. It's like, what? You don't have to think like that? That's crazy. Waiting for the postman and the letters. You don't have to think. You don't have to think like that. And Forrest said, no one can think my thoughts, but at least listen to him. At least try and understand what it is he's saying. It's crazy if you don't think that you don't have to look up the words in the poem. Hey, Troy, how's it going? I do not have a soul. Nah, Manson had. I'm missing stuff on that. Don't let going for a drive into the bush upset you. I had 3 I thought could be. Yeah, I had about 300. And they were all brilliant. They were like, yeah, it's got to be this one. It's got to be this one. And then I'd be like, oh no, it's below 5,000 feet. It can't be that one. And then, oh, it's got to be this one. It's got to be this one. And but none of them Doesn't matter which one it is. Honestly, I had loads of souls. None of them I was sure was warm water salt. It's like, how can you be sure that you have the right warm water salt? How is that possible that you know that you have the right well? You can think you do, but Forrest said you needed it nailed down. If you didn't have it nailed down, and it's like, what? How the heck do you nail down warm water salt? So everything that Forrest said, I was trying to do, and I made these solves, and I was like, yeah, done this anagram solve, and it's all this, and it's got to be that, and done this solve, and I've done that solve, and I've heard the solves that people say they've got, and I've done that solve, and it's like, no, it can't be that solve because of this, and it can't be that solve, and I'm just, I don't know, too many solves. Relaxing, just relaxing. Yeah, Troy's relaxing. Need to get a sugar. Well, I hope that goes well. Ooh, I hope that goes well as well. Be brave, gratitude today. Mm. The only good thing to say about it is the fact that you know about it and can get it done. Anything that is wrong with anybody, the sooner the better. Nothing, there's not many things in this world that get better on their own, unless you have, some people have faith and blah blah blah. But there are not many things that get better. So the sooner you know, the better, the more likely, it's all good. And I hope it is all good. Yeah, I have been pretty down. I think the internment went well. Like everything went well. Like as bad as everything's been, I couldn't have wished for it to, be stress free, hassle free. The people who did the burial and everything, did the cremation, and it all went really good. The people. So yeah, as bad as it was, it all went well, and then you get used to being able to talk about it and laugh and not feel guilty. I know it sounds bad, but you do. You still feel guilty, but you're able to, to do these things. Maybe his dream. I don't know. I don't know. You'd have to ask Forrest Fenn that. That's not something I can answer. Um, his dream is, for everybody to be a winner. So, to me, that's a good dream. His dream is, why can't we all get along? And that's a good dream. But the answer to that question is not for me. I can't tell you that answer. You know, I can't tell you that answer. You know, if I was able to, I would. I would tell you the answer that I think it is. I seriously would. But it's not for me to tell you. Go eat then, Troy. Um, be safe. I think it was. He said he always knew where he was going to hide it. So, yeah, I agree. Which makes me laugh at people when they say, Forrest moved it. It's like, oh, come on. Not the most important thing, but there's a whole load of important things that Forrest Fenn said. And one of those important things was there was only ever one place, one spot, only ever going to be one spot. And then people say he moved it. What? He took it out of this very special spot and put it in this nothing spot. Because of what? He took it out of the one spot that it was going to be. I could have wrote the poem first, I could have hit the chest first, blah, blah, blah. I've got this one place. It's only ever going to be this place. And then I move it. Some people say he moved it more than once. And it's like, no. If there's only going to be one spot, what the heck is he going to move it for? And how is he going to explain it? What's the point of making that statement? There was only ever going to be one spot, but I moved it. No, that's just crazy. Stupid, even to think it. But to say it is even worse. Didn't move it. There was only ever going to be one spot, so it stays in that one spot. To even think that he'd move it out of that one spot that was going to be, that he'd spent 15 years writing a poem about, however that worked, he could have, I say it and people go, oh, he did 15 years on a poem. He could have wrote 3 words on the first day and then all the words on the last day in the 15 years and done nothing in between. But if we go on the 15 years that Forrest said, and it could just be written in the poem. But that poem is crafted. It's not just simple words. If we watched all your video, yeah, you should have figured it out by now. I have told you the answer. I have told you the answer verbally, I think, and I've given the answers written down, and I've shown you the answers on video. I haven't said, look, here's the answer, there it is. And that's if I'm correct and me and David are correct. That's only if we're correct, because we're not saying we're the solvers. We're saying, look, here's some information. This is how we got the information. If we are correct, the information that I've put out in verbal and not written because it's typed or displayed there, you should be able to work it out. In fact, like I say, the answer's typed, not written. It's not written down anywhere, it's typed. So the answers are there. If you look at my videos, if we're correct and the answer comes out, whatever all the answers are, because there's more than one answer to different things, yeah, I have told you the information. I said I would not tell anybody my solve, which I haven't. Haven't told you the solve, what I did that got the solve, and here is the answer. But I've told you solves, all the different solves that I've done, all the different methods, and I've given the conclusions to those methods through YouTube. For various reasons. I wasn't going to tell anybody because I said I wouldn't. I was asked if I would tell the answers, and I said no. That was in chat, when I first started. No, I wouldn't tell anybody because it's not for me to tell. And Forrest is going to make it happen. It's not about chess. It's not about, the boring stuff that people talk about. It's not San Lazaro, because Forrest said it wasn't San Lazaro. I don't know why people say it is. It's not my house. It's not San Lazaro. It's not someone else who said, it's not the something limits of Santa Fe. He pointed it out that it wasn't those places. And people say, yeah, I think it's San Lazaro. He said, no. This is from Forrest, not me. I'm not making it up. Had Mojo working before the big rug pull. Well, Forrest said you need your Mojo working. What's 8 p.m. my time? Street. Is it lit? Hey, trusted. Oh, good street. I thought I was blocked here for some reason because the notifications were done. No, you're not blocked. Somebody said, about blocking the other day. Dillard. No, nobody's blocked. No one is blocked. I don't block anyone. People can say what they want. I'll either get upset by it or laugh at it. At the end of the day, in order to make a confirmed, what's the word? In order to make a whatever decision, you need all sides of the argument. You can't make a good reason. You can't make a good decision if you don't hear all sides of it. Brian Gates, when's he going? Because I was only going to be a little bit. I only want to do the way I just. Why? The bit I'm trying to get across. This is virtual that you're getting. This is nothing is as it seems. Nothing. So you're on this Star Trek holodeck, and you're fighting with monsters. They're not real. Why are you fighting the monsters? They're not real. Why are you scared? Come out of the holodeck and see what's going on. They're not real. So nothing is as it seems. Everything that you're watching unfolded before your eyes is not real. Nothing is as it seems. It's not real. It's in the poem. Nothing is real. The words don't mean what you think they do. The words I'm giving you, they don't mean what you think they do. So why are you going off the words that you're being given? You need to think of the what ifs, which is what Forrest said. If these words aren't real, then what if that means this? What if it means this? What if it means this? If nothing is as it seems, then what if it's this? And what if it's this? But nobody's thinking like that. And yet Forrest told you to your faces, everybody, told everyone, including me, you need to think of the what ifs. People are, is it watching the ants or stomping the ants while the elephants go by? Whatever that statement is. So what? Nothing is as it seems. Why are you all worried about Jack? Why are you fixated on something that isn't what you think it is? So what if it isn't? What if it's not Jack? What if it's not Jack? What if it's not Jonathan? What if those words don't mean what you think they do? And you're not going to find it because you're looking in the wrong place. How can Forrest say the things that he says? Nobody's going to stumble on it. You won't know you have the right way of warm water salt, the correct warm water salt, unless you have the test in your hands. How can Forrest say those things to the whole world? That's impossible. Unless he knows, he knows for a fact that people are going to think the way they think because he gave them a reason to think that way. Not because he's leading you away from anything, not because he's a fraud, but because he knows people. And you do whatever he's expected. And he expected it. And he gave you examples of souls that would find a chest, knowing full well that people would do those souls and find a chest. But again, if you are in this virtual world that you've been given and you make conclusions out of this information that's not real, how can you have a correct answer? The information you've been given is flawed. The information you've been given is flawed, not because the information is flawed, because your understanding is flawed. Even though the person said, this is flawed information. Use it at your peril. You need to think of the what ifs. So the person's telling you, you need to think differently. Because if you don't think differently, you're not going to get the right result. And you're all thinking the same as you were before. Don't care. I know what Forrest is saying. I know what the clues are. I know what the results are. It doesn't matter that they don't mean what I think they do. And it doesn't matter that nothing's as it seems. I believe it's true. So therefore my result is correct. Hey, waving at you now. Does Forrest know your answer? My answer? Absolutely knows my answer. Well, he knows all my answers. I think I was probably the person that he said enough. You know, shut up. I'm just going to go. I found out boots on the ground is not what you think it is. Absolutely not what you think it is. No. Who's girl? How you doing? You need me to Mac fun. Mac? Mac's back. Nobody blocks you, Husker. I can't believe anybody blocks you. What the heck? You bring fun and entertainment wherever you go. See Greg. PA, where's that? Is that? Don't say it's Philadelphia. Just, every time I do a live, somebody talks about stuff that I'm talking about. Aaron Co. I can't believe somebody's blocked you, Husker. Well, I can't believe anybody gets blocked, to be fair. You know, I've had some, you know, obstreculous people. If that's a word, I can't remember now if that's a word or not. I'm making it up. So, yeah, I can't remember. But about, you know, Paul has been on here. Nobody likes Paul, but, you know, not going to block him. I don't think he's done anything worth blocking for. Smoking Joe's been on here saying stuff, I'm blocked in. It is what it is, The There are some people that go over the top with what they say and what they do, and don't hear when people get offended by it. That's a shame, but it is what it is. But I don't block anyone. It's not in my nature. If I say something, say it. It'll either upset me because it's true, or it'll upset me because it's not true. you know, at the end of the day, if I say to somebody, "Oh, you're beautiful," they're like, "Oh, thanks, 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 thanks." And if I say to them, "Man, you look a mess," they get offended. Well, you're happy to take the truth from me when I say something nice, but you're not happy to take the truth from me when I say something bad. It's still the truth. Well, I've still told you the truth. Because one pleases you, you're happy to take it, and because one doesn't, you're not. That's like, so that makes you fake. Where's Jodie going? Safe travels? I didn't know she was going to it. Octopus-licious people. God, where have you had that word from? It happens I can lippy sometimes, but it happens to us all. Frustration. Yeah, I got frustrated. At the end of the day, I don't mean, well, safe travels then, wherever you jeeping to. I get frustrated, but my mentality is not that, if you get upset with somebody, that's it. You get upset and then it's finished, and then, you carry on. You don't hold grudges or whatever. So give some love to Mario with oh, thanks. Give me a like, have you? I can't even see him. Oh, okay, yes, I've got 225 people. And I've been here now 21 minutes. I was going to do a video, but then I thought, well, I might as well talk about what it is I'm talking about. So yeah, the word where. Why does the word where? Oh, I can't do it there, can I? You can't see it either when I swap it. But the word where means X marks the spot. It means X. It means all sorts of things. It's like, what was Forrest saying? I can keep my secret X marks the spot, and then we have a whatever it was, a hunt. I don't know what he described it. That X marks the spot thing. That was it. Brandon that did that, and that happens to be a synonym of where. If the words don't mean what you think they do, and if you have to use, you don't have to use all of the words, but it's risky to ignore any of them. Alan Kay says he doesn't like the first stanza. But those people that solve the chase, that they say they solved it, that they have a solve, I have to think, are you not listening to Forrest? If you have a solve, that is begin it where warm waters halt, to take the chest and go in peace, how is that a solve? When Forrest says, you don't need all of the words, but it's risky to ignore any of them. And you miss out 3 stanzas. How can that be a solve? Just logically. Forget your solve. Forget everything you've done over the last however many years you've been in the chase. Forget all of that. Just try and clear your mind and say to yourself, Forrest said to all of us, you don't need all of the words in the poem, but it's risky to ignore any of them. Risky to ignore any of them. Now, he's telling you how to solve the poem. He's not saying, well, you only need 3 stanzas to solve the poem. Far from it. He's saying you need the first stanza, the second stanza, the third stanza, the fourth stanza, fifth stanza, and the sixth stanza, because it's risky to ignore any of the words in the poem. How can your solve be correct when you only use 3 stanzas of the 6 stanzas that he's talking about? That's impossible. That's a crazy, impossible thought that you don't need all of the words in the poem, but it's risky to ignore any of them, can create a solve from 3 stanzas. Gone over my head. I don't understand that. I would not. I would not offer up a solve that only had three stanzas worth of information for my clues. I wouldn't. Not. Remember, we'll talk about solving the poem. I'm not talking about finding a chest. Anybody can find a chest. 350,000 people can find a chest. We're talking about solving the poem. To solve the poem, and you say you solved the poem, hand on heart, you can say, I solved the poem because I didn't use all the words in the poem. I knew it was risky to ignore any of them. Hand on your heart. Can you say you did that? I don't think anyone can. If you only use three stanzas, you're not listening to what Forrest Fenn said. Then you have to take into account, if you just did use those three stanzas, why did Forrest say, I felt like an architect? I built that poem. Not worried about what the words meant, not what, anything like that. I built the poem. One foot on the other. I built that poem. I crafted that poem. That doesn't sound like something that says, well, I put a few words together in three stanzas, and if you follow those three stanzas, you're going to find a chest, or you're going to find the answer to this poem. So, just the words that Forrest says tells most people, no, it can't be that. I'll see what I can do. Jock yes of humanity. God plans, but no catcher on the late show. Oh, got plans. It said God. It is also the first word in trying to determine any God's existence. Where? Simplification made easy. Yeah. I disagree. I don't know what you're disagreeing at. Octopusalicious is a YouTuber with 8 handles, 4 candles, in order to act like a louse. Louse. To construct a building, a builder follows the plans an architect draws. I drew that poem. Down with censorship. Up with wages. Not that I get paid anymore, but there you go. Yeah, the blueprints or bones, or Forrest says, "What's better, lying in the sun with your bones rotting, or something like that?" So he's going to throw himself on the chest. Doesn't want to be hooked up to the machines. I think if nothing is as it seems, and you can't understand it. If you can't understand it, let's put it that way. If you can't understand it, then you're not hearing what Forrest Fenn is saying. If you can't understand it, if there seems to be a contradiction, if it doesn't make sense, then you're not hearing what Forrest Fenn is saying, and therefore you cannot be the finder. The whole point of it, as Forrest said, was to aid the finder. All of this, everything that was done, is to aid the finder. So if you're the finder, everything that has been done is to help you find it. Just you. Whoever the solver is, whoever I'm talking to. If you are the solver, everything that was done is to help you find it. Did that happen? Did Forrest explain to you what was happening in the chase that helped you solve the Forrest Fenn poem? Now, I'm not being horrible, Alan Kelly. I'm just saying. He obviously was not talking to Alan Kelly because Alan Kelly doesn't think that he's the solver. And Alan Kelly says he doesn't understand what's going on. So if you're that sort of person that says that, then you pretty much should be admitting that you're not the solver and Forrest Fenn wasn't talking to you. That's no offense. I'm just saying that's how it is. If Forrest Fenn is talking to the finder and everything that he's doing is to aid the finder, and there's a solver out there that doesn't know what's going on and why they haven't received whatever they're supposed to receive, or why it hasn't ended, or why Charlo isn't coming forward, or anything, then maybe they're not the finder. Maybe you're not the solver. Maybe you're not that person you think you are, because Forrest did all of it to tell you. That was his statement. It was to help you get to the end of this. Holy tomato, Batman. Now he's considered a creator. An architect doesn't build. He felt like an architect. He felt as though I built that poem. He's not an architect. It's slightly different in that. If an architect draws the plans, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're out there building. That's just my opinion, how I look at it. But God made the plans and built. So therefore he's a architect builder, a creator. So I don't know. It's beyond me, those sort of questions. I don't know. I would say he's more than an architect God, because he's a creator. So therefore, I don't. In my mind, I don't understand the terminology of architect. You'd have to look up the word architect. I haven't looked up the word architect, but if an architect draws the plans, has the vision of how to build something, and does not actually build it, don't know. Don't know. Trying to work it. I don't know. I don't know how it works. Yeah, God is the creator. I'd say the creator, and that is. And again, you have the Grand Master, and then you have a Mason. So again, it's subjective. It's hard to make a decision based on the questions that are being asked. All swimmers are swimmers, but I wouldn't say that everybody who is a Mason or Freemason. I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to say. I don't know. As far as Old Testament, the fictitious name God was used in some cases to hide the architect of slave society, who were the Egyptians. Well, it depends at what point you arrived in Egypt, because that's where everything started in Egypt. Like, these Egyptians were clever, and because they were clever, they were and peaceful. Let's not forget that. Because they were clever and peaceful, they were easily overrun. Therefore, they became slaves because they were easily overrun. And they weren't allowed to speak of their intelligence, which is why you have the meter and those things. A drop of water was a millimeter. No, a drop of water was 10 millimeters. Was a drop of water 10 millimeters? However it worked. So a drop of water was the same size. Always the same size. So from that, they got the holy, whatever it was. I don't know what it is I'm talking about because I can't remember half of it. But they managed to do the pyramid based on the exact measurements using meters and not feet. And that changed. So they got rid of that. And that, the Masons had that. And they built the pyramids by using cement. But, that's the best way to call it. So they built it in blocks, put the wood, poured the stuff in, took the wood away, and there was a block there. And that's why it's so smooth. And they didn't have to move anything because they just poured it. So They were exact in everything they did, and then they got taken over because they were peaceful people and not violent people. And they were killed if they would talk about this knowledge that they had. That's the information that I got. And it's probably all wrong, but what can you do? Yes. So the architect designs it. So, God must have had the design, but also created it. So, you know, which is more important? The fact that you have the design or the fact that you can create it? Or if you have all of them? Oh, the Israelites. The Israelite. Anyone watch White Collar? Lots of similarities to FF. FBI, CIA. Oh, don't go there, please. Is Queen still here? Queen, I think you can have a chat with Huska. Actually, Queen might probably watched it. Yeah, nothing is as it seems. So why, stew over it? Why have a go at Jack? If it's not what it seems, then what is it? That's what you should be thinking. Not getting, fed up that nothing is as it seems. Like it's not real. This is all fake. This is not real. Well, yeah, you'd be told that. It's like you're just saying what the person who did this has told you. Nothing is as it seems. Another way of saying this is fake. Not in a bad way, but the house is ever drawing nigh. But oh, that must be bingo then. House. Well, there's Alison. No, it was a story. Everybody. No, not everybody. If you can't admit, if you can't admit that Forrest has told you the truth and said, words don't mean what you think they do, and nothing is as it seems, which is tantamount to saying, think nice thoughts. Because as bad as it looks, it's not that bad. So Forrest warns everybody before the chest is found in 2020, think nice thoughts of me. And I sent Forrest an email, which he's probably saying, stop sending me bloody emails, enough. I sent him an email and I was basically saying, Forrest, why would you think bad thoughts of you? This was at a time before the chest was found, before the treasure was found, before everybody thought the chase ended. Forrest is telling everybody to think nice thoughts. And I sent him an email saying, we all think nice thoughts anyway, so why would you say that? Which to me said, something is wrong in the chase. Something is going to happen. And people aren't going to be happy with what happens. And lo and behold, Jack, who I wasn't bothered about, turns up. I tried to tell everybody, his name's Jonathan, not Jack. You made him Jack by inserting, Jack in brackets in the middle of his name. So you made him Jack and made everything the way that it seems because you wanted to make it the way that it seemed. And brought this whole narrative to the chase because you wanted to bring it to the chase. Forrest never admitted to it. Forrest never said it was true. Forrest never said it was correct. But you ran with it anyway. And you want to believe that narrative. But Forrest says, think nice thoughts. It goes tits up, as you believe. And you all think nasty thoughts about him. Even though he warned you before it happened in a way that it would. But you have to have faith in him. You have to believe that everything's okay. And then he tells you everything's okay. Nothing's as it seems. Words don't mean what you think they do. Those sort of things. To try and comfort you in this turbulent time of the chase. And nobody takes a blind bit of notice. Nobody takes any notice. That's crazy. It's all happening. Well, it's not all a forgery. The chase isn't a forgery. I think I know what you're trying to say, but the chase is not a forgery. The chase that you believe, not you, Huska, but the people believe, the chase that people believe is a forgery, is the chase that people believe is bad, is hiding the good that's really happening. Remember, 4 years of statute of limitations has to pass at least in order that whoever is the solver is not inundated with a load of rubbish. And whichever scenario comes up has already been through the courts and dealt with. So precedents are set. So lots of things can happen in those 4 years that helps in the real ending. So you should be going, yeah, nothing's going to happen for 4 years because this, and this is going to happen. Yeah, so don't worry about it, But no, you don't. You all kick off and, have a go at each other. And I don't get it. According to Genesis, as the 6 days of creation, if a person can read it, Jesus said he was going to use only the first three to build a new kingdom. The first 3 days, but that was only light and darkness. There was light, water, and land. That means there's none of us. Yo ho ho, Ben. I didn't even see Ben come in. Are you here, treasure warriors? Have you sneaked in through the back door? Yes, you have. Nothing is as it seems. A rider found the chest hidden by a rider. Sounds like something a rider would. Hey, Ben, you might be right. Right. I used the right, because Forrest Fenn used the wrong right when he used the word right. Poem is constructed so an allegory Forrest felt like an architect is because he used the word in a variant state or in the state of Wyoming. Nothing is as it seems in Alice in Wonderland 2. No, nothing is as it seems. Nothing is as it seems in Wizard of Oz. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. The home of Brown. There's no place like the home of Brown. Tonight we would stop and say hello. Thought we'd stop. Oh, my reading. Thought we'd stop and say hello. I don't think he realised he already meet us. Uh-oh. Things are not as they seem now, Street, because many are still blinded by the light. Oh, you should have gone in there. Blinded by the light. Forrest has shown you the light, and you're just like, oh, I can't see. He showed you the light. You don't want to see the light. Step away from the light. I will send him the pictures I have. He will remember. The words of Genesis are not what they have been made to seem due to incorrect. So, well, so the words of Genesis, exactly what they seem. The words of Genesis, them are exactly what they seem. Everything else, maybe not. Oh yeah, good idea, thanks. And all those, and it's a good one too, huh? Ben is going to be digging his own grave with that shovel if this beard isn't shaved soon. What is this shovel thing about? See, that's what happens when you don't watch all the streams. I have no idea what this shovel thing is about. Why are you supposed to be getting a shovel, Ben? What's that all about? His beard will be going soon. I'm confident, very confident, very, 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 very confident that Ben's beard will be going soon. I think he should donate it to a good cause. My head. You should donate your beard to my head, Ben. Then I can grow my hair long. We should have a contest on what does Ben look like with. We know what he looks like with his beard. He's got his beard now. We've forgotten what he looks like without it. Shiloh sold some items on eBay and advertised it to the Discord. He sold a shovel that Forrest for Vanity Fair. Oh, cool. Oh, brilliant. Wow, Vanity Fair. Was there one in that picture by the wall? And he sat having that drink? I don't, there was something in that picture. He was leaning against the stone wall. Sure, I think Greg had busy note Sweet Pea. Yeah, the one of them sitting outside the home next to the wall. Yeah, I remember that one. Wow, cool. You're not short of a few bob, are you, mister? Yeah. Ben, you look like Forrest Gump when he was running. Run, Forrest! I've said that a few times. I really have said that a few times. Yeah, I don't think it'll be long before Ben has a shave. I think, well, the clock's definitely ticking. I was telling somebody today. Like I say, I don't say the people that I'm talking to because I don't know if they want me to say that we're talking or that they leave comments or whatever. And it's no disrespect, I don't mind shouting out if you don't mind saying that we chat. No, Ben, you just feel like Forrest Gump. You've never been running. Don't give us that. I don't think you've been running for a while. You just feel like Forrest Gump, don't you? Those running days are gone. I can tell. I can tell those running days are gone. Oh, I thought it was Gladys then. Poor Ashley. Yeah, poor Ashley. Say hi to Ashley for us. A few more years to go, probably. A few more years? I was talking to Davey. Was it today, Davey, or yesterday? Yesterday now. Yesterday, today, I don't know. Yesterday, definitely not today. Could have been the day before. That it's possible that 2026 is an end date that the chase would still, something could happen in 2026 that is still related to the chase. Could still happen in 2026. Which should have happened in 2025. So 15 years, don't do nothing for more than 15 years. That's if Forrest is whoever we think Forrest is. And Forrest only does stuff for 15 years. So therefore, if Forrest has gone after 10 years, then whoever's doing this from 10 years onwards is somebody else. So that 15-year rule wouldn't apply because whoever's running it now is not Forrest Fenn. Or is it? So 2026 could still be a date for the chase. 2025 was a realistic date. But as I said, battleships, as long as you sink the battleship, all good. Forrest is going to make it happen. So the important, just send some hearts up. The important thing is, Forrest has to, without question, has to have achieved something to have the last flight, to have the memory. That has to happen. Has to happen. Doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what you believe. The nothing is as it seems. Words don't mean what you think they do. That last flight, whatever flight that is, that last one is how the memory is created. And until something is done, there is no memory. So whatever Forrest was talking about, it's not been done yet. Whoever you think Forrest was, can't be. He hasn't had a memory of it. So it hasn't been done. It's not in his past. It's in his future. Whatever he's going to do happens in his future, not in his past. He can't be any of these people you talk about because he doesn't have a memory. It's going to a place where even memory has not been. I have not done this yet. I am trying to make this happen. I'm going to make this happen. And when I make it happen and I have that memory, that last flight, and not an asterisk in a book that wasn't written, and blah blah blah, leftovers of history. And when that happens, and that memory is there, then it happened, and that is the Forrest Fenn, whoever that is, Major Forrest Burke Fenn. At that point in time, whoever that is has that memory and that last flight, and that's what you should be thinking about. If nothing is as it seems, page 15 is as it seems. Forrest is going to make it happen. When it happens, he has the memory and takes the last flight at that place, to a place where memory hasn't even been. It was in my wedding house. What, do you have a beard? You put that in your vows? At some point in time, I'm going to grow a beard and you're going to have to put up with it, I think. See this summer, but who knows? Yeah, this summer is just around the corner. And depending what you mean by summer, like summer starts or has already started, 20th. Summer solstice today, isn't it? 20th. Not for you because you're still the 19th, but you know, for Davey B, he's on the winter. He's in winter now. 15 years. I want to read what Chester said then. About 15 years from when chess was hidden. Only 985 years ago. Yeah, you know, that. Hang on, let me read these before I get behind again. I trust these tomatoes in 25 degrees. 25 degrees? I wouldn't be likely to get 5. Trusted will be the one. Yeah, trusted will be the one. Hi, Frank, you're right. It said I've been many a season. I think some YouTube channel said I look like Manson. Yeah, yeah, I'll agree with that, Ben. I don't know who that could be. Grow more tomatoes and more beard. Black. And Rockers need a greenhouse. Oh, and a green 9-mile hole. Green mile. I have to do some work. Thanks, Grandma. I always love when you come in. Thanks. All I know is my own facial hair goes into my bites. Trusted will tell you how to get around that, Ben. He's been doing it for thousands of years. I mean, hundreds of years. Sorry. I don't want to say you're too old. Trusted. Wait, Ben. It looks like Jane. It's too late. His beard's already on his head. I'll be sure to tell Ashley you said so. Who's there? Casper. Ashley, a greenhouse will be. Now I can't remember what I was going to talk about. Reading all that. I was trying to keep up with chat. Now I've kept up with chat. I can't remember what I was talking about. How did I do that? I normally forget, but then remember straight away. But now I can't even remember what I was talking about. But this basically boils down to this is a virtual situation you're in because it's not real. Words don't mean what you think they do. Nothing is as it seems. So therefore, don't try and make sense out of everything that you're surrounded by. Try and make sense out of the other stuff. What is worth knowing and what isn't worth knowing. If you know that Jack is not real, because it's not as it seems, then what is real? Anybody saying that they found the answer on the internet has to be incorrect. Because Forrest said all you need is a poem. And only, in my opinion, David B's opinion, only the poem will tell you the answer. You can't find the answer on the internet. It won't happen. It will not happen. You won't find the answer on the internet. You will only find the answer on the internet if you know what the answer is and you look up the answer on the internet. And you have to get the answer from the poem. That's the only way it can work. I'm not saying we're the solvers. I'm saying that's the only way it can work. In my opinion, Forrest has told you, solve the poem. Not find a chest, solve the poem. Because you only need the poem. So therefore, the answer must be in the poem. It's not, I know he said use Google Earth help, but he said it wouldn't go down far enough. How far down do you want to go? Google Earth comes down to, on the top of a car. and you can see the road. You can see everything. How far down do you want to go? That, to me, that's a non-statement. How far down do you want Google Earth to go if it goes down to a camera stuck on a van? So Google Earth doesn't go down far enough is a bit of a what? Hanging ones were hanging what? People. Now B, is that Ben? Now B. What? Now B. If I was no shave November, as in a tradition in the you could. Oh, so well we call it Movember because it's moustache. That's Movember. No shave 2024. Haha. No, I think you'll be shaving this year. Well, this month, no, next month maybe. Way down, that was Elvis. Way down where the music plays. I don't believe the poem has been solved yet. You don't? Ooh, ooh, ooh. I do. I believe somebody solved it. You can't see through the trees. Ooh. Hi, Melinda. I believe I found the answer from the poem in a dream and verified it by the internet. So who's Forrest Fenn then? Ben was banned all of the hot sun. Oh yeah, hot sun in a full beard. Oh, that would kill. I suffer when I shave my tash. Absolutely do. I shave even in the summer. I shave my tash, like the edge. Talking garden again in chat. No soul. Oh, Mr. Marion. Oh, I thought we were more friends than that, but I'll take it, Mr. I'm glad you said is, and yes, he is a great man. Some people think that he's passed, and I'm not just saying this lightly, and I don't mean any offence by it, but I think Forrest told us what was happening. And he said in the poem he would be going. So I choose to believe that he did what he said. And that was he had to go and leave his trove for all to seek. That's why I had to go. I have to go and make this happen. I have to do what I said I would do. And yeah, he is a great man. And not because he left money out for people to find, because that's not what this is about. And if you think that anybody says that Forrest Fenn is a great man because he put some money out there for people to find, then there is something wrong with your thought process. He's a great man because he's a great man. And the stuff in the Thrill of the Chase is only part of the greatness that is Major Forrest Burke Fenn. And it doesn't matter who you think Major Forrest Burke Fenn is. The person that did those things and is doing these things is a great man. And I don't care whether you think I'm sucking up or whatever, because I'm not. As I was saying earlier, the truth's the truth. You're either going to like the truth or you're going to hate the truth, but it's the truth. And I'm not worried if you like it or you hate it. I'll just say the truth's the truth. If you hate it, I can't help it, but that's what it is. If I say, Ben, you've got a big beard growing, that's the truth. I'm not being horrible. I'm just saying that's the truth. And Ben, it suits you when you haven't got a beard. That's the truth. If Ben was happy in having a beard, loving it, best thing since he was born, I can't help it. It's still the truth. And he may hate me for saying that he needs to shave his beard off, but it is what it is. Sorry, Ben, but that's the truth. Yeah, I'm going to go then if Brian Gates is on, because he had some good stuff the other day. So yeah, thanks for coming in, Ben. Say hi to Ashley in the group gang. Semi-go person. No, I'm going to go. You're right. No, you're good. I don't like, being on when other people are on. I just want to come on and say this. Please listen to Forrest. Nothing is as it seems. Words don't mean what you think they do. Stop bitching about who's the solver, who isn't the solver. If you're not listening to Forrest, no one can be the solver. It's that simple. So thanks. Take Mario. Yeah, thanks, Street. Cheers. Yeah, say hi to Brian for us and any guests that he has there. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you all. Seriously, I'm not just saying that. Again, another good show. Made me laugh. No tears. So all good. So take care, everyone. Thanks for coming in. Don't forget to say hi to Brian for us.